What's going on, America? You with the messenger at Our Knowledge. You can check out the latest broadcast I did. It's at James Abovavad at Facebook.com. We did the conscious address as usual with the information that is most important to the American people right now. And I also just wrapped up the conscious closer. If you want to go check that out, same place. Now, in New York, we have a judge in which is violating habeas corpus. It's in the Third and Fourth Amendment, believe it or not, and it is right to due processing lawyers. You are right to a speedy trial. These are non-violent offenses as well, and they were peacefully protesting. This should send a shockwave through this country, and this should rile up a lot of people, which it will. I'd recommend to America, especially the members of the BLM movement, and also every American in the country, start moving. Keep doing what you're doing. At some point, we're going to have to take it off the devices and off the grid and go the route of the carrier pigeon. The Panthers did it. Underground information. The administration in the White House, yes, Trump is an idiot. He's a fucking simpleton. Evidently, his administration is a lot more powerful than people think. And money makes you do a lot of things. And this isn't an administration, this is a mob. And I don't want America thinking any other way. This was something that our forefathers wrote this Constitution for, in hopes that somebody, maybe either within the administration, state, local government level, or even simple us, a society of working class people, would stand up to the White House via treason. There's treason amongst this country. It's in our system. So now, America, I hope you realize how deep the systematic failure goes. The systematic failure goes as deep as you can think, as deep as your imagination, and you're willing to take your imagination. Fuck's sakes, your president stood on a stage knowing that 90% of this country fucking hates him. Every angle of the black community hates him. Smiled on stage thinking George Floyd is smiling down on us for our numbers and employment. That right there, America, should have turned the last Trump supporter against him. And if it hasn't, there's nothing anybody or this motherfucking powers that be can do for you. The steps it would take. First, you stop consuming the power structure. Go where we tell you to go. Or, if you don't like the way that's pronounced, I can understand at this point and where everything's going. Start utilizing your YouTube progressive platforms and get your information. If you're not comfortable with, if you're watching maybe TYT post game for the first time, take the information that they provide you and you go look it up and compare it to the conservative power structure, in which is MSNBC, Fox, OAN, so on and so forth. And then step 2, we take a movement off the grid, become a resistance, and get back our Constitution and get back our country. It's not conspiracy theories anymore. This isn't paranoia anymore. It will affect our lives eventually. And I don't think anyone in America wants to live under autocratic tyranny, in which third world countries live under. Everywhere from North Korea gave me the biggest props in my email utilized my information and got a hold of me and said I wanted to give congratulations and much respect to the fact that you have human compassion for your people. I enjoy your media because your media is honest. Something that this country took, guess what? Guess what we took it for? Granted. We thought we were invincible to tyranny. We thought we were invincible to living under an autocratic tyranny. And before your very eyes, guess we were wrong. Putting any human in a position of power like that for an amount of time like this is what happens. We don't do background checks of our presidential candidates and or law enforcement or anyone in any form of authority. We take their word that they went to the best universities and give them everything. Never mind their character, never mind the fact that 90% of these people don't even go get a coffee with their people in the beginning of the American workday. Our own bosses, half of them don't break bread with us. Ask the boss man or boss woman, or we ask them to do systemic change, they shun their noses at us and go back to their mansions and or very nice houses. Because this in this country, that's what the power structure does. And this is what we see from the power structure every day. Oh, how's my boss at this place a part of the power structure? You'll get the picture. You'll get the message. We're not comfortable with any words like boss or authority or president or politician. We hear these words and it's been embedded and trained in our minds to go like this. That's what power does to people. That's what the word does to people perceiving the power. But you don't want to hear that. That's not true. I don't say this to be arrogant and I don't say this to be ignorant. I say this because this is truth. If you can't even stand up to, if somebody's watching this and you have a manager or a supervisor or a boss in period, look at your boss one day and say, you make up a question or ask them something and you'll see whether they're a leader or the definition of a tyrant. If said boss replies, yeah, sure, well, how can we work this in for next week's schedule, or what can I do to make it work for you, then you have a leader. No, you come in this day, that's it. That's a tyrant. So, America, if you can't stand up or ask a question to your boss, how are we going to expect to unite as a country that we were supposed to be if you can't even stand up to your boss? That's another question amongst millions of other questions we should be asking each other in the United States of America. What are we going to do about tyrant, or bunkered boy tyrant man up there? Peace and love.